You're listening to the voice of IWA Flip here on Interfed Radio. With me today in studios, Commissioner of the Generation Next League, Wes Nichols. Wes, welcome aboard, brother.
Hey buddy, how you doing?
Oh man, you know what? I know we were brainstorming and we're like, you know what? If we got time, might as well put some of this on because I've been trying to cover, as much of the game as possible, and I think when you mentioned that you wanted to start covering some more of what goes on in the Iron, just to bring some more prestige to the Iron itself, I thought that was beautiful, man. And this Project Next, man, this got me pumped.
Right on. Yeah. Wow. Where to begin with Project Next? Holy cow.
I mean, if I were to be in the, I mean, just if I'm looking at the IWA, and I've said this in the past, if you're talking Iron, you gotta start with the COH. I mean, the COH has been, the backbone of the Iron for the last decade. So
Oh yeah, most definitely. That is a uh that's a die hard assessment of Iron Federation is the Cage of Honor. Um what we're trying to do with COH is we're trying to essentially create our own version, if you will, our own vision of something similar to the Isle War.
right,
And
I mean, very similar to where they have their leagues, intermingling. I mean, I think the COH has done it over the last couple of years, but
yeah,
it's been undercovered in my. I mean, obviously it is a play-by-mail game. Mike is very traditional. He likes to keep it in the bulletin, so you gotta love and respect that aspect of it. But
right.
I think it's gotten to where it needs to get a little more a spotlight and coverage. Like I've talked with Mike in the past, like just giving it its fair its fair share, its fair dues,
Right.
with social media. So
Exactly. Yes. Yes, Mike does tend to keep everything within the bulletin, so to say, and which th- nothing wrong with that whatsoever. Um, we're trying to undergo terms as far as how we want Project Iron to go, because you know Mike set up shop in Iron Federation many years ago, and he has been so successful in the Iron Federation, and Iron is so freaking tough in the IWA.
oh
Uh,
yeah.
so
I mean, anyone that's track and hold when you don't got anything to go off of, yeah, it definitely adds that yeah, that toughness.
it honestly does, because as many of you know, whenever Iron hits, everything's up for grab. Every drop, uh, everything known to man, it's up for grabs.
Oh yeah.
So if you say steel or bronze or whatever, if it hit a 26, 27 or double 27s or double 26s or whatever the drop may be, whenever iron rolls back around, everything's up for fair game. Whatever the IWA wants to fucking hit, ooh.
Oh yeah. It'll let you what do you call it? Oh yeah. Yeah, no, I
Uh,
mean that and that becomes that extra challenge. So yeah, the Iron has always been, like they say, the toughest son of a bitch in the game, brother, because you yeah.
I'm telling you, Iron has Iron's very humbling as far as the game is concerned. Um,
Oh yeah, I mean you hear veteran players talk about it. Players that have been in this game for years say, "Hey, you know what? I just don't play there because it makes no sense. It makes no
and
sense."
it
Ah,
honestly, if you can track Iron, you can track Iron like crazy, and unless you're in Iron, or a big stable. Big stables seem to hit a fair share of the drops that happen in iron, but if you're outside of that, um, you're gonna miss it. I mean, anything imaginable can happen in iron, and honestly, it will at any given point. So essentially, what we're trying to do is okay. Well, you have the hour, you have the hour leagues, and what they're doing to me is tremendous for the game. They're changing the game. They change the game cycle after cycle, and what I want to do is I want to implement what they're doing in their feds. I want to implement that in the Iron Federation because to me, the players that do take on that challenge of the Iron Federation, um, let's get ourselves out there. Let's set up something. Let's set up a goal, more or less, to bring the Iron Federation to the forefront of the IWA. And uh, honestly, let's show all these guys that don't want to participate in Iron that there is a reason to participate in Iron because let's get our own little shop set up. Let's get our own little deal going with the interleague. And right now, the way that it's set up is we have the Generation X League, we have the HWL, and we have the HLL. Um, there was a
Yeah, because
turn.
because the COH has cut back drastically. I mean, I know a few years back, I think even a year ago, I believe the EEL got cut. Uh, I think I forgot who else got cut, but I think one other league got cut from the ones that I think the MML or the MLL or something like that was cut as well.
Right. There were cuts, but what Mike has done with the COH, the COH, honestly, in Iron Federation, that is the standard bearer for the Iron Federation. I mean, you can't overlook anything that he has done. You can't. Uh, uh, I mean, you can't think of Iron Federation without looking at the Cage of Honor.
Right.
Uh, and what he has done is very commendable. And we're just honestly trying to add to the aspect of everything that he has built until this point. So, like I said uh, prior, you have the I War, and what can you bring to the Iron Federation to draw more attention to the Iron Federation and to joining leagues within the Iron
Well, I
Federation?
mean, I mean, if from the outside looking in, Wes, I mean, and of course, like I said, I mean, you guys have your talks with you and Mike. I know we've had talks amongst each other as well. I mean, I enjoyed the way, uh, just the way it kind of like bled into the Generation Next League. He didn't come and like you have to do this, because Mike, I think the most powerful thing that Mike has is his work with a pen. I mean, he
Oh,
writes he
yeah.
writes phenomenal, brother.
Oh
Like
God, like no other, like
right,
no other.
and that was the attraction. You see, you got your titles, you got your angles, you got everything going on with the Generation Next League. Everything's going at 101 miles per hour, and now you have this bleed that comes from outside, and it doesn't affect the flow of the league. It just intensifies it. It's like, okay, you know what,
Exactly. Yes.
you have your champions here. I think we talked about this when it came to that QPL pay-per-view that we were trying to
Yeah.
have with them, and the difference with the difference with a manager based and a manager revolved pay-per-view as opposed to a pay-per-view that actually involves champions, because now you have, champions for champion,
Oh
as a,
yes.
as opposed to just, no, no, hey, take our jab at Blake Stone now. It's like you're not fighting Blake Stone versus the
Right.
COH champion. It's like, no, that's not what's happening here. It's like it's champion for champion. It's somebody that has some kind of you know some kind of prestige in the league already that they're facing. So I thought that was awesome, and like I said, I think Mike does a great job of revolving the story angle around it, and yeah, like you say, I mean, now we have the Generation Next League. You have the COH leagues themselves. You have a league on the outskirt that's trying to build. And, shout out to the Yellow Jacket League, because Commissioner Sean McAbee is trying to get that league going.
Yep.
And shout out again to Seven, who runs the XPL. Because I know they got a lot of trash talk going. So yeah, it would be pretty awesome to get some more interaction amongst these leagues. Not
Right. Yes. And uh, more or less what I'm looking forward uh in Project Iron per se is I want to get those leagues that do have the trash talk and will because all right, oh gracious, I can't say enough good things about the guy. I mean, he threw us a bone. He booked the matches for Final Battle and building up to Final Battle. The COH had a tournament in which involved multiple HWL superstars, multiple HLL superstars, and I want to say a couple GNL superstars, maybe. I know that Lee was in there, and I'm not trying to be selfish. And the only reason I knew he was in there is because, of course, I run Lee. Um, but it turned out that Lee won the tournament, so Lee had the opportunity to challenge the COH champion and the ICW champion, and that was the payoff in the tournament, which
yeah,
which
and I think Wes, I mean, if we can get one of these shows, like maybe quarterly or every cycle, or I mean, just something to get that information out to people. I mean, I would love to believe that everybody wants to go and read every single bulletin out there, but just let's be real. I mean, sometimes there's not
oh
enough time
right,
to
right.
get to it. So having a show like this where we recap some of that action and just bring it to light, just like, all right, cool, this is what's going on. In case you're still new to the game, everybody plays in a different style, but hey, you know what? If you need something to talk about, guess what? There's a lot going on.
There really is. Honestly, there is from Fed to Fed. There's a lot of good things going on, and there's a lot of good commissioners and managers out there that
Yeah.
keep the game interesting from Fed to Fed, cycle to cycle. Um,
And like you mentioned earlier, Wes, I mean, shout out to the iWar guys. I mean, they get it going in the gold. They
right.
got they got a lot going on that that they interact with. They got a lot of contests, and while I'm on that, shout out to the Steel, because the Steel recently started coordinating, and they started up their Steel Interfed title, which is now on its fourth cycle, and so
Right.
they're traveling from league to league, and as soon as the title goes to your league, it's your responsibility to sign that match versus the champion. This cycle, it was the Kabuki Dragon, who had defeated Chaos Knight last cycle.
Yeah.
The Kabuki Dragon from the CCL came to the MUL and defended against the MUL champion Belchin Barney Gumble, and
Oh,
defeated, Kabuki Dragon defeated it and retained the title by 1 point. And the beauty of it is, there's a calendar, Wes, and that was the part that just made it, that much more relevant. Shout out to IWA coordinator Will Wisdom, who coordinated it in the Steel, and he sent out a calendar to all the commissioners that were involved. So now everybody got the calendar. Hey, you know what? This cycle it's coming to your league. You're responsible for signing versus the champion. If you don't, then he gets a buy and he'll go to the next one. And
Okay.
so far it's been signed. So it's just keeping it relevant, man. It's awesome.
We'll see. We had the tournament in the COH, and it turned out that Prince Lee from the GNL won, and he
Nice.
got the opportunity to face the COH champion and the ICW champion. Uh, as much as I want Lee to be a double champion, um, honestly, that didn't work out. He
Dang.
was defeated by the COH champion, but then at the COH final battle event, Prince Lee defeated, I think it was Secret Player. I don't want to get this wrong. Holy shit, I don't want to get this wrong, but I want to say it was Secret Player. Uh,
And it was in this last bulletin because I can pull it up right.
no, it was the one prior,
The one prior. Okay, let me get to
or
that one.
believe. I want to say from the HLL potentially, and Lee was victorious. Lee became ICW champion, and we actually the GNL had a lot of luck going on because we had Prince Lee that won the ICW championship. Drake Douglas won the COH Ironman championship,
Nice.
which the Ironman championship had already had relevancy in the GNL because Dorgon held that championship for quite some time.
Nice.
Um,
So he brought it back.
yes, Drake Douglas brought it back to the GNL, and Vicious Timothy Clark, which we all know has had a handful of trouble in the COH with his matches against the Scrubs and everything like that. He actually won the COH Heritage Championship. Maria Jane of Highly Suspect won the COH Women's Championship, which is a tremendous opportunity for her. And COH Tag Team Mike Vendetta and Roger Rampage won the Ironman Tag Team Championships. And the NOJ members Joe Duggan, Henry Defile, and Zolo won the COH World Six Man Championships. So
Nice. And yeah, you were right. It was a secret player from the HWO.
HWL. Okay, I got the league wrong. I do apologize for that, but um, yes, that was a tremendous opportunity for Prince Lee. Um, and Mike is so good for signing and booking these interleague matches. This previous cycle, or quote unquote tour, as we refer to in the GNL, Tour 18. Um, we actually had several interleague matches to where Mo Greenhouse was involved in an interleague match and won. $1 Million Miler was involved in a interleague match and won. Reverend James Jones was involved and won. And Dr. Savage was involved and won. Dagoons.
Did they have one too?
Yeah, sure enough, they defeated Syndicate, execution, the executioner Daniel Mims and the mercenary Aaron Mims, and they won. Prince Lee defeated Edge member Iceman Jason McGrew,
Nice.
and
One of the legends.
actually Reverend James Jones won another match when he defeated Edge Jerkis member, the large man. So M- Mike is really going to work, and he's really throwing us a bone with these interleague matches. And
Yeah.
honestly,
Any
we're go ahead.
anyone listening, I mean, if you see an interleague match, it's good habit to go check that league's PDF or that league's bulletin, because more than likely you'll find that that match was a part of a COH tournament or a COH uh, pay-per-view. I mean, that if you see an interleague match and your wrestler is involved, you know, obviously, sometimes it catches you by surprise. I mean, I'm still, I always say this, I'm still familiarizing myself with everything that goes on. And, something like this just brings my attention. It draws my attention to the COH more, because now I've realized it's like, oh, dude, my guy's got signed,
Yeah,
hey, it's kind of like that virtual slap to the face. It's like, hey, dumbass, keep an eye on what's going on over here, because
exactly.
you could be bringing, be involved in some ways, and vice versa, so that you can mention it, because that's one of the things that I always, it's like, commissioners are going out of their way to, make this happen. You know, don't be an asshole. Don't be a jerk. Mention it.
Yes,
Make it relevant.
yes,
Bring it to
yes.
life.
Right. And see, that was the thing with Lee is because the tour that he won the ICW championship, Lee come up dry in the GNL. I mean, there is so much potential in the GNL and so many heavy hitters that you have to go through to even win a friggin' regional
Yeah.
that whenever Mike sent me the message and he was like, "Hey, congratulations." And I'm like, what for? I had a really shitty cycle. And he was like,
What?
check out the interleague matches. And I looked at it and I was like, holy shit, fucking Lee went up. And Lee
Nice.
went over as the ICW champion. And I was like, oh, wow, like this is good. So, and we have been trying to promote something within the Iron Federation. And so I spoke to Mike and I was like, hey, listen, this is totally your call. I'm going to throw it out there. You let me know what you think. If you have any reservations on it, let me know, and we'll go from there. Like I'm not opposed to anything. And I said, we've been looking to do Project Iron for quite some time. Lee's the ICW champion. How would you feel about it if Lee dubbed the ICW championship as the Project Next championship? He's like, oh my God, go with it. Go with it.
Nice.
Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. And so in my TT, I proposed that Lee was the Project Next championship, that he will defend that championship within the GNL, the HWL, the HLL, and we're not we're not closing out any other leagues. It's just that's the startup of Project Iron. If another Iron Federation league wants to join Project Iron, by all means, uh, you can message me. Join the Generation Next League Facebook page. You can message myself, Commissioner Andrew Nichols, or you can message General Manager Mr. James. Please reach out to us and get with us. We want to make Project Iron big, as if not bigger than, say, the I War. And it's not
Oh
a
yeah.
knock the I War because those guys have been game changers of the IWA, and they have, excuse me, they have implemented so many different changes within the game itself and the aspect of the game.
Oh yeah. I mean, like you say, kudos to them, but
Oh yeah,
it's one of those challenges, within the game. It's like, hey, you know what? Of course we're going to try and, better. Obviously it's kudos to them. It's like, hey, you know what? That's a bar that's up in the air right now. I know a lot of people are like, oh well, that's a different way to play the game. Well, yeah, it is, and
Right?
it's the way that we want to play. And if
Yeah.
if you want to play a different way, hey, that's the beauty of the game. Find a league that fits your style, knock it out of the park,
Exactly.
and keep rocking. I mean, the innovative way that Hannibal has taken some of his innovations into some of the like you said, Wes. I mean, sometimes people do the copycat thing. I mean,
Mhm.
the NAL does this cash tournament. A lot of people like the cash tournaments. They like the big payouts. That's the way they like to play. So be it. We're not mocking it. We're not knocking it. Hey, knock it out of the park. If that attracts you, if that keeps you in the game, go get it. I know. Shout out to the NSL. I know they have a big cash uh, tournament. I know the HRL now has a big cash tournament. Shout out to the NAL because they started this big cash tournament. Payouts. And it's awesome. Hey, if that's the way you'd like to play, awesome. Right
Oh,
now, we're
yeah.
trying to revolve, whoever's in the iron that wants to trash talk, that wants to run angles, that wants to keep these commissioner titles and these interleague titles revolving around the trash talk to make them relevant.
Right.
Reach out to us because that's who we're looking for right now.
Exactly. We want to give all of these COH, the ICW, Project Iron, whatever the case may be, those championships need prestige, and we were trying to keep, if not restore, the prestige in those championships, respectively. But our end result is to try to get multiple Iron Federation leagues wrapped in Project Iron, and with Project Iron being underway, um, we have we have multiple options, revenues to take to where we can say, all right, well, we can book this match, this match, this match, and this match, and so on and so forth. And we could literally do a show per tour or cycle, whichever you prefer. Um, and it's honestly right now in Iron, the toughness and um, the way the Iron Federation runs, who knows what's going to happen? I mean, um,
I
I'm
mean,
going
I
to
mean,
take.
regardless of where it goes, Wes. I mean, I think there's enough there already that we can cover. I mean, like, and of course, leave your comments. Let us know. Reach out to us. Maybe there's something different that you want to see with the way we cover the iron. I mean,
Right.
me personally, I mean, moving forward with this show, I want to invite anyone that plays in the iron, that wants to come on, and whether you want to come on as a character, whether you want to come on and just give us your perspective on the iron hold, whether you want to give us your perspective on the iron history, just reach out to us. We'd love to have you on the show. Let us know what you want us to cover. We're obviously going to cover what we see and what we know because obviously that's our perspective. But if there's
Right.
something that we're missing, obviously, shout out to Mike Drake, who is, commissioner and coordinator of the COH. Like I said, we did mention some of the other iron leagues that are pushing some trash talk because obviously we want to coordinate with them as well because you know we're angle based players and we want
Right.
to keep some angles moving forward. So that's why we
Right.
shouted out the XPL and the Yellow Jacket League because we know that they have commissioners that are angle based and again, they're not incorporated with the COH as of yet, like I
Right.
said, but hopefully, we can, maybe, you know, intermix everything in this Project Next movement going forward. So,
And since you mentioned Mike, I feel like shit for not mentioning it before, but I do. I do wish Mike a speedy recovery, as he has been a little bit under the weather. Um,
Yeah,
he,
prayers with you, brother, for sure.
yeah, I mean, he's an instrumental player in the Iron Federation. I mean, this guy is, oh wow. I honestly, there's not enough good things to say about a person to throw out there, but he has been super instrumental in the Iron Federation. And honestly, after after basing the GNL in the Iron Federation, I understand why. Holy cow. This league, this federation, everything that has to do with it. Whew. Like if you win a daggone regional in the GNL in Iron Federation,
Oh
okay,
yeah.
you might as well go ahead and pat yourself on the back, because there are so many heavy hitters and so many players. And that's the thing about the GNL. There's a handful of players, but those handful of players are just excellent players.
Oh yeah.
And
Anyone hanging around the iron is comfortable. It's comfortable with the IWA.
I'm telling you, like, if you can win an iron, you can win anywhere.
Yeah.
I'm,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
saying that.
Exactly.
And the GNL has great things going on right now. Uh, One commendable thing I have to really throw out there is I am solely, and you can tell by the way that the GNL is set up, I am solely based on angle based play. Um, but the way that the GNL players have grasped the Generation Next League is that instead of sitting there and having to give everybody instructions on, oh, well, say this person called you out, why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? Let's go this angle, let's go this direction. Holy shit, man. Everybody has taken everything solely responsible. And, dude, they run with the storylines that are being told. Like, if
Oh yeah.
somebody calls out, if somebody calls, for instance, right now, Million Dollar Miler and Drake Douglas are involved in this classic rivalry. And
Oh
for
yeah.
anybody that doesn't know, Million Dollar Miler belongs to Chris Miler, and Drake Douglas belongs to Mike Drake. Uh, these managers, holy cow, man, they have taken this angle upon themselves, and that's the direction I was going with it. Each individual GNL manager takes whatever storyline that is given to them by other players, and dude, they run with it. Man, they run and
Oh
they
yeah.
build everything upon themselves. And that's relieving for myself and say Mr. James, because we don't have to honestly sit there and just hold somebody's hand and be like, no, well, if this person does this, you do this, or whatever the case may be.
Oh yeah, no,
Everybody,
I think that's a luxury we have with social media. I
yeah,
think that the chat group also helps because people can, talk back and forth,
and coordinate. Yes,
and
exactly.
yeah, because that becomes the key. I mean, if you're
Yeah,
not coordinating and if you're not talking, then you're
I
just talking shit. You're just talking
it,
shit.
exactly. I mean, we have a Generation X League thread on Facebook Messenger, which all of the managers are involved in, and everybody kind of feeds off everybody. We have the official Generation X League Facebook page, which we encourage. managers, superstars, however, to post whatever you want to, how often you want to. There's no limit. Keep, keep it running, keep it going. And everybody has pretty much um, taken on everything and run with everything to where we are at the point to where James and I, excuse me, we just kind of honestly, quote unquote, sit back and watch the fireworks.
Right. Yeah.
Um,
No. I mean, and it's uh, in a way, it's kind of a survival of the fittest type, because hey, some
right,
people aren't going to survive the heat. They really won't, and
right.
it's not to take a jab at anybody. Like I said, we're not going to do that. But at the same time, it is what it is. It's like, hey, sometimes it goes a different style. It goes a different play style. Hey, it's not going to fit your
Style of play.
your angle style or your hey. So hey, you find and migrate somewhere else, and you know
Overcome.
yeah, that just hey, next chapter in the league. It,
Exactly.
it and I thought that was a big real big on your guys' end, Wes, because that knowing how to navigate from one chapter to another is very tough,
Oh,
because you lose some heavy hitters, you
yes.
gain some heavy hitters, and now you gotta, like you said, as where most commissioners would probably say, hey, you know what? Well, I'm out of here too. You said, all right, cool. No, let the dogs fight it out. Everybody's gonna, we'll work something out, and now we got our next pay-per-view, and you know we have our heavy hitters.
and honestly, the way that it's been, and this has been literally since um, our first pay per view took place the fifth cycle of the GNL. Everybody kind of, I think you could say that James and myself may have limped everybody along to the first pay per view, but then after that point, everybody kind of really ran with their own storylines. Everybody kind of done their own thing. So we had Ground Zero, then we had Aftermath, and by the time Aftermath got here, it was like we just said, "Oh, well, hey, these are the matches at Aftermath." So there you go.
Oh
Because
yeah.
everybody had pretty much made the matches themselves um, through their trash talk, and that's one good thing about social media. We just had our 18th tour, so we just literally wrapped up our very first year in the IWA, in which a huge shout out to Mr. James, because James called out when we would have our first quote unquote cycle in the top 10. And he said that it would be our third pay per view. And man, he nailed it dead nuts right on the head. We went tour 15, tour 16 in the top 10, which to me personally was just this tremendous feat. It was phenomenal to me. Um, and that things have slacked off since then. Okay, well, first off, I completely understand. At the end of the day, this is just a game. Everybody has real life and real life issues to deal with um, between the mix. And but you were talking about guys that were coming in. We just had a we just lost three superstars in the GNL, and we had one guy come in, and the new guy that came in won the Battle Royal, which is an
Nice.
incentive for free matches, and he also won the Next Gen Junior World Championship which is the quote unquote TV championship on his first cycle.
Nice.
And so that makes me feel good because the post he put on social media was, oh, well, shit, I had this success in the league. So next tour, I'm coming back with the same character and I'm adding two more as a tag team. So it helps out, excuse me, it helps out the league in the long run because, you have that comfortability and you have that incentive. But at the end of the day, everything that the GNL has accomplished, all the feats that we have overcome, everything in the Iron Federation IWA as a whole reflects back to the managers. There,
Oh
all
yeah.
I mean, all I did was create the league. That's
Oh
it.
yeah. And
Uh,
and in that same thought, Wes, I mean that's kind of where I want to kind of take the project next thing is run this show so we can highlight what the managers are doing
yeah.
because ultimately, like you said, if you don't have the managers' participation, you're done.
Oh yeah, and that's been one thing about the GNL is the trash talk has been there, and even if the trash talk's not there, you have managers that are like, listen, this happened this cycle. I wasn't able to do this, but I sent in matches,
Right.
and I will throw a TT on the Facebook page, and that's what they do is they
Right.
put
No,
the
and then
TT on the Facebook page and it still revolves and keeps ongoing rivalries going.
oh yeah, definitely. Yeah,
So
man. So again, so this is a shout out to any manager in the iron. These waves are open to you if you ever want to come on and join Wes and myself, talk some iron. Love to have you on. Wes, is there anything else you want to put on this one? Another reminder, anything else coming for the iron?
just honestly and truthfully, this is just me coming from me. Uh, with where the Generation X League is with the Iron Federation. Uh, Everybody that has ever been involved with the Iron Federation, minus, uh, minus one manager, and he can go suck a dick for food stamps. Um, but every manager that has ever been in the GNL, I honestly, from the bottom of my heart, I greatly appreciate it. Thank you for spending your hard-earned dollar for this league in this game. I know that not every manager is not going to be a fit for the GNL. It's all dependent on your style of play and so on and so forth. I understand that, and I can appreciate that. I solely created the GNL honestly because it was my style of play, and that's what I wanted to see. And for all of the managers in the GNL currently, um, guys, you guys knock it out of the park. Fucking tour after tour after tour after tour. I cannot thank you enough for everything that you do, for all of your trash talk, for the time and effort that you put into this league. Uh, there are there are a number of shout outs I would like to give. Um, for Mike Drake and his opportunity to make Project Iron an actual reality, to the IWA for making them the Generation Next League a reality, to Christopher Stevens for all of his contributions to the GNL. Like, that guy keeps the GNL just and there's not enough good things to say about his work ethic and the time that he takes for the GNL. I want to wish Jim Blazer a speedy recovery. The guy had a stroke, and it really it really bugs me that his guys were involved in a tournament, and he had his stroke. He was inactive, and it was the last round of the tournament. That, to me, that fucking sucks, because he has been so instrumental in the GNL, and his trash talk, man, holy cow. His trash talk does not go unnoticed
Oh yeah, no,
for
he's
the
a.
sole reason, dude, he's kept so many storylines rolling. Um,
Oh
and
yeah,
he's just been
in the GNL and throughout the IWA. Like I said, speedy recovery. Shout out to Mr. Blazer.
I mean, he's just been, dude. He was an OG in the GNL. He was there from day one, and my respects go out to Mr. James for everything that he has contributed. Like, uh, we have fallen short of our show that we record and we upload on our YouTube page and our GNL page. We've fallen short. We're several shows behind, and we're going to get them knocked out and uploaded. But real life happens, and everybody, at the end of the day, everybody has a job, everybody has a family and loved ones, so on and so forth. And so, for that reason, that's been the instance for the shows that are past due not being recorded as of yet. But we've coordinated, we've talked about it. We're going to get them up, we're going to get them done. But James has brought a lot um, to the GNL. He's
Oh yeah.
his ideas, and it's been crazy because he runs Dorgon, I run Princely, and we have bounced back and forth ideas, and it seems like everything in the GNL, even outside of Dorgon and Lee, has really fallen into place, and that's been super nice for us because you know everybody's taken their own initiative and everybody's done their own thing, and everybody that stuck it out from day one, I greatly appreciate it. Thank you for all of your contributions to the league. Thank you for uh, making the GNL relevant in the IWA, and ultimately, at the end of the day, thank you for spending your hard-earned money on the GNL. And
Yep.
I have to give you a huge shout out, Flip. Um, the GNL, the GNL would be the GNL, but the GNL would not be the GNL without everything that you've contributed. You've done pay-per-view cards, you've done artwork and everything for the GNL. Uh, when we did the Tour 15 pay-per-view collision course, I give you the biggest shout out because you did all of the posters and everything for that show.
Oh yeah.
And
That pay per view was awesome. That pay per view was awesome.
and
A lot going on.
I gave you 100% creative control over just that pay-per-view ad, and you knocked it out of the park. And even when you weren't in the GNL, whenever you were still working with the MML and all that stuff, you offered me your helping hand at doing a pay-per-view card. Um, I want to say it was for Ground Zero, our fifth pay-per-view. So I mean, we were still young, but that was something that I felt I needed to come to overcome as myself. And even the one that you submitted to me, I mean, you knocked it out of the park. It was amazing. So, for your contributions to the league, for all of your time spent um, doing posters and pay-per-view cards and everything that you do, even your coverage of the IWA as a whole through Interfed Radio, man, your dedication to this game literally shows no bounds. I mean, you cover every league possible, and for the game, that's a tremendous feat. And you should be super proud of what you're doing and what you have done. And so my respects go out to you for everything that you have accomplished and everything that you've done for the game as a whole. But, you know, as a commissioner, I've tried to go to bat for the managers in the GNL
Oh
uh,
yeah.
to get incentives. I think I don't know for certain. I have no idea, but uh, I would like to say that we are the only league that offers incentives for every champion that retains a championship. Um,
I believe so. The only one I know of.
so if you retain a league TV regional 6-man tag team, TV tag, TV6, whatever, you receive 5 free matches. Um, I have to throw a shout out to the commissioner of the LNL UNL because he actually was the one that gave me the idea for the battle royal incentive, in which each GNL superstar that wins our league battle royal will receive a free match for each entrant in the battle royal. And I think we've honestly made it up to, I want to say, like 23 free matches,
Oh
something
yeah,
like
that thing
that.
that's one of the best deals I know. But I mean, it just yeah, to reward the battle royal is beautiful. Like I said,
And
I'm glad that's the case in the GNL because yeah, that's awesome.
and even on the IWA players Facebook page and the our Facebook page, there was a player that had an idea about, say, if the battle royal winner would receive a championship or a league title championship opportunity. Um, to Mr. Tuttle for his contributions to the IWA. For the GNL, yes, that would be a perfect fit.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
because we, like this past tour, we had the gentleman that just came in this tour and he won the Battle Royal and won the quote unquote TV title, which is our Generation X Junior World Championship. And he didn't get that opportunity to face the league champion. So I'm appreciative for everyone that tries to implement change in the game for the betterment of the game. It's it's honestly surprising that a quote unquote play by mail, and in this age and time play by email
Right.
game that still has the success that it does at this current moment in time.
Oh
Um,
yeah. And like you said, Wes, I mean it's driven by the managers and that's the beauty of it because like I said, eventually managers find where they're more comfortable, where they want to play.
yep,
And I think now moving forward and moving this game forward, I mean yourself, I mean I'm moving you out of just a basic commissioner role,
yeah,
and you and someone like Mike, I place in a different type of category, brother, because just a regular commissioner is someone that just tries to commission the league, keep the league moving. But you guys are now moving into what I consider IWA coordinators because you guys are coordinating the game outside of just your league because
Right.
you see that potential, just similar to like the way the I Ward does their coordination, because it is different. It is just
Oh
different
yes.
than commissioning one league. So
Oh yeah.
now Wes, we're getting to that hour, so we're
Okay.
gonna go ahead and sign this one off. But like I
Right
said, man,
on.
I think we got a lot to cover, and like I said, I can't wait to get the next one because, like I said, this game is something that we enjoy, and
Yes.
I've said it before, man. We can talk about this game for hours, brother.
Hey, that's right.
We really could. I mean,
Yeah.
but you know what? I want to remind managers out there, Generation Next is a limit of three. A lot of angles, a lot of pay-per-views, a lot of action. Get yourself to the Generation Next League.
Right.
Um, if you guys are interested in coming on and joining us for a show, just reach out to us. We'll
Okay.
make it happen. So
Sounds good. Yes. If you are a angle-based player to where you do want to involve your characters in storylines, uh, feel free. Join the Generation X League. New superstars only. No transfers allowed. Sorry, guys, for the veteran players that have those names out there currently. But the reason I did that was to help managers think beyond their means and expand their thoughts to where they could come up with new superstars to throw in the IWA. Feel free to come into to the GNL. If you need help as far as um, any of the drops in iron, I'll be more than glad to help you. I have a year and I almost have 2 years of, I want to say in either March or April, I will have 2 years
of drops of
of
charts,
drops and charts
nice.
uh, on my chart that I keep. So,
That's another show we can have eventually, brother. We'll have like a little our own version of like a tutorial show just to
oh yeah,
yeah,
no,
just to
no,
give
yep,
managers an idea.
yeah, for the for excuse me, for the Iron Federation.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Um, guys, keep in mind, Iron Federation it's tough, but that's the reason that the Generation X League is set in the Iron Federation is because I wanted to make each manager that hits the report earn it. And we have had multiple, and Flip being one of the managers that hit the report in the GNL.
Woohoo!
He just
Fi-
hit it this
Finally,
past tour with his six
finally.
man strat. And so, huge shout out to him. Reverend James Jones has hit it. Drake Douglas has hit it. There's been a number of GNL players and managers that have hit the report from Iron
I can't wait till
Federation.
we get our first elite champion out of there, brother. Because I
Oh,
know it. I
word,
know it's coming.
oh my word, yes. And honestly, a huge shout out uh to Rick Angel. I do not know how he has not hit it. I mean, that
Right?
guy is phenomenal in the GNL. His character, Reverend James Jones, just won his fifth undisputed Generation X World Heavyweight Championship.
Wow.
Fifth. Like, and that's such an honor in the GNL. I mean,
Oh yeah. I mean,
dude, that
Rick is a monster. Rick
oh
is,
dude, that guy
you know what?
that guy's special.
We got to make him the first guest, man. We'll reach out to Rick. Get him on
Oh,
here for sure.
definitely, we need to. But Flip, thank you for your time. Thank you for everything that you do to cover this game. You have legit been a game changer as far as your coverage of the game all over. So,
Oh
like
man,
I said,
man, we can't stop yet. Like I said, we're still gonna keep trying to change this, brother. This
most
project
fucking
next,
a right.
oh
Yeah,
yeah, this project next is gonna blow up, brother. I can
and
already
it's
feel it, man.
it's not only Project Next. It's just every Fed.
It,
like, don't get um just don't get comfortable where you're at. Keep pushing the game,
oh
keep
yeah.
pushing your means and bounds, and keep pushing the IWA for more incentives and more stuff for your managers that are contributing. Honestly, their hard-earned dollar. And I say that because I know what it's like. I'm running one superstar IWA wide, and I know what it's like to spend, say $20 per cycle, and that doesn't seem like much. But when you have X amount of matches for that $20 or whatever, you know, you get your bulletin and you have 60, 70 matches in that bulletin. It, it kind of is a lot whenever you're in a limit league and stuff like that, and you're trying to accomplish whatever goals that you have set
Oh
for
yeah.
that particular superstar. But you know, challenge the IWA, try to come up with new ideas and new ideas will spread through the IWA. If it's freaking badass ideas and it's awesome ideas, it will spread through the IWA like a fucking wildfire. And you'll have other commissioners or other managers bring it up to the commissioners like, hey, so and so's doing this. Why don't we try this? This seems like something fitting for our league.
Oh man,
Throw
that I mean, could you imagine something similar to like a coalition like the I War in every federation, man? Oh man,
Oh my God. If there
yeah,
was,
that would be awesome.
the IWA would make money off of doing some type of huge, huge promotional deal to where they had all six leagues, the best players. Like, if it was an I-War level contribution across all six federations, that IWA would already have something in mind. And it's like, oh, well, we can do like a quote unquote war games type of deal.
Right.
Which federation is going to come out on top? And I'm telling you guys, if you don't pack your lunch and you're not ready for your shit, you're going to lose to the I War because these guys came ready to play.
And like,
So,
what? So watch out, watch out.
oh yeah, most definitely. But no, again, I know we got to wrap it up. So, Flip, thank you so much for having me on again. It's been a tremendous opportunity, and I can't wait until the next time. Um, but guys, whatever league fits your play style, even if it's not the Generation X league, look over the IWA homepage, find a league that fits your play style, and read the bulletins. Do your research before you join leagues, and so on and so forth. You will find one that fits your style of play, and at the end of the day, even if it's not in my league, thank you for contributing and thank you for spending your money on the IWA. Thank you for keeping this game alive because there's so many guys that love this game and cherish this game and play this game and do so much for this game alone that's keeping it alive right now. So, uh, you know, as a mark or fan or whatever you want to refer to me as of the game, I'm just glad that the game's still alive. I'm glad it's still going.
Oh yeah, that makes two of us. That makes two of us.
Right on.
Oh man. All right, guys. Like I said, you've been listening to Commissioner Wes Nichols of the Generation Next League, and myself, IWA Flip. We'll catch you guys on the next one. Take care.
See you guys.